Hey guys, Pro1701 here. Today we're going to be reviewing The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, the Christmas special between seasons 6 and 7, or series 6 and 7, with Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor. This is only the second time I think I've watched this story. I watched it when it originally aired here in the States. I'd never really gone back to it just because I found it very boring at the time. Very hard to get into. I didn't remember it completely, but I kind of wanted to give it another watch just because it's been, 10 years or so. So I figured I'd give it another look. And I still think it's boring. It is very boring. But its biggest problem that makes it that way is the extended runtime, since it's a Christmas special, actually hurts it here. It's the inverse to the problem that modern Doctor Who has often, is that the runtime of the new show at 45 minutes often isn't long enough for them to fully flesh out a story, and they have to kind of Deus Ex Machina the ending. Here, the opposite problem. It's too long. If it had the normal runtime of about 45 minutes, I think it would work a lot smoother. There's a lot of fat here that can be trimmed. The scene at the end when they're flying to the time vortex goes on way too long. Way too long. It's all happy and Christmassy and sad, and we're going through the time vortex, and there's this plane, and there's my happy memories of my husband. It goes on too long. It's too padded. The scene when the boy when he first goes into the box and enters the Androzani area, with him going back, coming back out, backing up, going back forward, it's too drawn out. It's too drawn out. There's a lot of these scenes that could have been trimmed down and they would have worked much more effectively. I found myself getting bored a lot in this story, to the point to where I had to pause it a couple times and get up for like 15, 20 minutes just and do something else, just because I was so interested in what's going on. And it's not that the story is bad, it's just it's way too padded in places that it's just... I do love most of the acting in it. The little boy's acting was kind of eh. And the main actress in it, Maggie, is that her name in it? Clara Skinner, I think's the actress's real name. Her British dialect she's using in this story I found very grating. I don't know why, but the way she talks I found really bothersome. I'm not sure what kind of accent that is. Again, I don't really know the terms for all the different British accents. I live in the States, but whatever British dialect she was speaking in was driving me nuts. Matt Smith's acting is phenomenal in this. I absolutely love Matt in this. He's very much doing his childish Doctor. I like when he's showing them all the different rooms. And it's like, it's got a lemonade dispenser, and he's just like, I know. It does all of this? I know. It's like he's having just as much fun as they're having, showing them around, which I absolutely like. He does have a lot of his childish Doctor moments in this, especially early on, that I really, really enjoy. There's a couple really heartfelt scenes I like when she's talking, when the mother is talking, Maggie, when she's talking with the Doctor, that bit about how she wants her children to be happy now because, she knows they're going to be sad later, Why do you want your children to be happy now when you know they're just going to be sad later? The answer, of course, is because they're going to be sad later. The way Matt delivers that line is really good. It's one of my favorite moments in the whole episode, just because I thought it was really touching how he phrased it. That one part when him and the daughter are running around in the Christmas tree place, and he's like, nothing dangerous ever happens here, and suddenly there's a rumble, and he's like, there are just some sentences I should just stay away from. It's a very Matt Smith thing to say. It's a very Doctor thing to say. It's a very 11th Doctor thing to say. It reminds me a lot of that line from A Christmas Carol when he shows him, this says, I am a responsible adult, shows him the psychic paper, but it's blank. Must have told a lie too big for it. I love little moments like that from Matt's Doctor. It's very humorous. I like that. There's just some lines there are some sentences I should just stay away from, as far away as possible from him. I love that, whatever it is he says there. Absolutely loved it. I liked the ending. It is a bit of a... some people might think it's a bit much. It's a bit, the husband survived too. They might roll their eyes. It's very much a fairy tale ending, but this very much is a fairy tale story. It is kind of based on, the Lion, the Winter, the Wardrobe, and all that. It's kind of the Doctor Who's own spin on that, much like A Christmas Carol had been its Doctor Who's spin on A Christmas Carol. So it's a story based on a fantasy story. It's in a way it's its own very fantasy styled story. I mean, you go inside a Christmas present, you end up on another planet. So I'm perfectly fine with the fantasy ending, the happily ever after ending. I really actually think that works for this story. I enjoyed it. And I had forgotten the Androzani reference, having just watched The Caves of Androzani recently. I liked when they were talking with the 3 people in the crew. And she's like, well, and the guy's like, we're from Androzani Major. And I'm like, Androzani Major. I get that reference. I'm like Captain America. I get that reference. Having just watched The Caves of Androzani. So I wonder if they're actually on a part of Androzani Major, or if this is actually Androzani Minor, where Caves of Androzani takes place just in the past. Because I believe in The Caves of Androzani, they talk about how Androzani Minor used to be more of a like, not necessarily paradise, but forest and all that. I seem to remember it talking about the planet used to be more lush than it was in Caves of Androzani. So I wonder if they're on Androzani Minor while the forest still existed. That was a nice little tie to Classic Who that I liked, that I had smooth forgotten about, actually, the first time I'd watched it. So that was nice as well. But yeah, I don't hate the episode. It's one, again, I might go back and watch it in another 10 or 15 years. It won't be one I go back to anytime soon, but it does have some good beats in it. Its biggest problem is it's too long. It really needed the runtime of a regular episode, not the runtime of a Christmas special. And because of this, to fill that runtime, some of the scenes are just needlessly padded and needlessly run longer than they should. But, like I said, it's not an episode I really like. I did get bored with it, but Matt Smith is great in it, and that kind of makes up for it. So that's my thoughts on the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. What do you think of this story? Have you watched it in a while? Is it one of the more forgettable Christmas specials for you? Comment down below and let me know what you think of this story. I'm always interested in finding out what you guys think. I also have a Patreon if you would like to contribute to that. There is a link to that down in the description below. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month if you want to contribute to what I do, if you enjoy watching what I do. But if not, another favor you could do for me, just hit that subscribe button and that like button. That really helps me out with YouTube, and I certainly appreciate that. Always trying to grow the channel. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.